Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willow Journals. Welcome back to my channel. I've got two new journals to share with you. These are faith journals and these are now available in my Etsy. Very similar to my previous collection of faith journals. I've just used a few different pages. There's some beautiful Helen Steiner Rice poetry pages, scriptures, quotes, and some faith music paper. There's some of this commentary page from my grandpa, so that's authentic vintage and something personal in the journal, a nice personal touch, and a lovely mix of different types of papers, coffee dye, lined. There's also some coloured pages. I used green and yellow to go with the illustrations on some of the book pages where they have green and pink, green and pink flowers. And yeah, I've got this metallic envelope and lots of fun pages in here that you can fill up. I've got a paper bag here with the gold foil, and I just hope and pray that these journals can be a fun tool for you to use to enhance your journey with God, whether you use it as a prayer journal, a faith journal, a devotional, or a journal that you take notes in while you're reading the Bible, or just to share your journey with God in it, write your thoughts, write your feelings, or anything like that. But yeah, I'll leave a link below to my Etsy shop if you're interested in either of these journals or the other faith journals or any of my journals. And while I share the flip through of these two journals, I might have to loop this video as well. I'll share my latest message that I've written. I have decided that I'm going to challenge myself to try and write a message at least once a week as a dedication to my writing practice. And yeah, because I haven't written for the last 4 years really, so I've slowly been getting back into it, and I feel like God has enabled me to be able to loosen up my writing again, and finally after 4 years some words are starting to flow out and getting a little bit easier. So I've come to challenge myself now to every week to at least have written just one thing at least. And as always, I pray and hope that these messages that I share every Sunday on my channel will be like a lamp in dark places, that God would use these words to encourage, to uplift, and bring something good into whoever is listening, into your lives. So the message is called Devotion this time, and I'll just read it out to you. So at the moment I'm reading Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert for the second time, and I do love this book. It's a book that shares Liz's beliefs about creativity. And I've even started a note-taking journal where while I read this book, I'm taking down notes, just because this book, it just kept resonating with me. There were so many truths that had me nodding, but there were also some things that I disagreed with, some ideas that I had questions about. And so I wrote down that as well in my note-taking journal, and it just helps me to think about and clarify what I believe. But one idea that I do love that runs throughout the book is that we can approach the creative life the way men become monks, as Liz puts it, as a devotional practice, an act of love, and a lifelong commitment to the search for grace and transcendence. And as a person of creativity and a person of faith, I'm on board with this idea. I love that. I love that Liz writes because she first and foremost enjoys writing. She dedicates her life to writing because she likes to write. That simple. And I write and create for the same reasons. And yes, there are challenges along the way, and it takes plenty of hard work. But when you love something, all of that is completely worth it. It's like nothing compared to the joy and just everything that you get out of creating and writing. That is just like nothing. And there are plenty of things that I say I would like to do, but when it really comes down to it, I'm often not willing to put in the effort or to make the sacrifices. For example, at one stage in my life, I wanted to play flute in a band, but I didn't put in the hours of practice to get there. And so this taught me that my heart really wasn't into playing the flute. And I have this quote that I came up with quite a long time ago, that the measure of how much you want something is how much you're willing to sacrifice for it. And if you really, really want something, you'll give up everything for it, even good things. So this idea about creative living, it makes me think of kingdom living and the story of the pearl of great price in the Bible. The kingdom of God is like a pearl of great price that is so beautiful, so valuable, and so desirable that you would sell everything to own the pearl. Do we value the kingdom of heaven that much above everything else that we have in our lives? Do we live for the kingdom of heaven, or do we live for something else? Sometimes we get distracted, perhaps by a relationship, or by work, or possessions, or money, or status, or power, or entertainment, or self-pity. When we are distracted, what we're saying effectively with our behavior, with our energy, with our lives, is that we're placing higher value on what distracts us than on God. So this is just a reminder to myself and anyone who needs it that we can always turn away from the distractions and turn back to God. No need to beat yourself up or feel afraid or ashamed. Just simply seek God again. Where is our focus? And what is our number one focus? I want to spend my life worshiping God. I want to spend my life sharing his goodness. I want to spend my life glorifying him. I want to spend my life telling about all God has done in my life and all that I've seen him do in the world. And this is out of an act of love. I don't do it out of duty, although I very much am humbled and glad to live up to our responsibility to partner with God and help him bring heaven to earth. But rather my heart is moved to share about the joy and peace God gives, even in the darkest and most painful times. My heart is stirred to tell people they are created good in the image of God and made to do good things, that they are so loved no matter who they are or what they've done, and they can help bring heaven to earth too. And this is what I am devoted and committed to. Yes, I will get distracted sometimes and I will fall short and make mistakes and make a mess. And yes, there will be challenges, but this is what I can always turn back to and stand on. So my question to you and to me is, what do you want to spend your life doing? Are you willing to put in the effort? Are you willing to spend time with God, seeking him and his will? Are you willing to get to know him more so you can be more effective at showing him to the world? These are all questions for me as well. Are we willing to do what he calls us to do? What we're called to do may be different from person to person. For me, I know I want to put in the effort of spending time writing these messages each week. I want to bring good into the world and help people through my channel, through both my videos and creations. I want to share stories about what God has done, even though sometimes it's scary. I don't always feel like writing or filming or creating or sharing, and I especially don't always like doing these things publicly. But while I've been given this season where I'm able to do this, I hope to be faithful with what I've been given and do the work and be courageous. My heart wants to do this even with the challenges, because my heart just wants to be devoted to God and his kingdom way of love. Where is your devotion? How we spend our time and money and energy, and where we put our thoughts and heart, that will show us what we are devoted to. And maybe you want to spend some time right now, or when you have some time alone next, to seek God and turn to him, focus on him again, or for the first time, maybe you want to write down some words or some lyrics, or draw a picture that shows you what's in your heart and what your heart is devoted to. Maybe you want to journal a statement of what you want to be devoted to, what you will be devoted to, or what you are devoted to. This is something I'm doing today, so I thought I'd just share this idea if you would like to do the same thing. And if you do write or create something, I would love to read it or see it if you're willing. If you have any thoughts, feel free to share them. Type it in the comments or share with me via email or one of the social media links in the description box. And I will stand with you and cheer you on, always. So thanks guys so much for watching. Hope that was encouraging. Be sure to journal your life because your stories matter. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my beautiful patrons who supported me in October and allowed me to create and share videos for another month. If you'd like to become a patron in November and support what I do here, that would be so appreciated. I'll leave the link below to my Patreon in the description box below, where you get access to extra videos, first preference for my journals, behind the scenes updates, and if you're a Ruby tier or high, you get every single digital kit from my Etsy plus an extra one every month. And there are also some mail tiers. You get something sent to you in the mail.